You heard of the Oscars. You heard of the Emmys.
The Grammys and the Tonys.
The gaming awards. And the Annies? Well now, for the first time in the history of the world, fantasy football will have its own award show. Join us for the Simplies. That's right. Welcome one and all to the first edition of the Simplies. I'm your host, Kyle Fridland. Joining me is my brother and co-host, Jake Fridland. And we're here to honor the fantasy football world, the players that have had such a wild, crazy, interesting season, to honor their excellence and to show all of you the true honor and tradition that we will carry on for the next 48 years. Oof. Jake, are you ready for the greatest award show of all time?
Born ready, bro.
Ooh.
Born ready.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Then let's get right into it. We're going to start off with our very first category, Rookie of the Year. And the nominees are Jackson Dart, New York Giants; Ashton Genty, Las Vegas Raiders; Tetaroa McMillan, Carolina Panthers; Harold Fannin Jr., Cleveland Browns; Tyler Warren, Indianapolis Colts. And the Simply goes to, barely breaking out, it was a tie vote until the very end, rookie Tyler Warren, tight end for the Indianapolis Colts.
Come on. Could have guessed that.
Yeah.
Let's
this was
go.
a very interesting Rookie of the Year, though, this year, because there wasn't as much star power as, say, like year previous. Like, I think last year we had Jaden Daniels and Brock Bowers and Brian Thomas and Lam McConkey. We had so many names to choose from. Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
There were so many like high-end names that became like some of the top players at their position. This year was a little bit more mixed. Within this group, I had trouble deciding early on because I didn't see like one player that was like, man, what a dominant game changer the entire season. But Tyler Warren did barely win out the votes. It was neck and neck with him and Harold Fannin Jr., amazingly, with his late season run with Shedeur Sanders.
He was pretty crazy late season. But no, I think it makes sense for Tyler Warren. I personally voted for Tyler,
Yeah.
And so majority won for Tyler, right?
Majority won for Tyler. I actually voted. I was one of just a few people that actually voted Jackson Dart.
Wow.
Yeah, I really liked him. I really liked him this season. He only played 11, 12 games, but he did very well. If he actually played a whole season, I think people would have saw it a lot more clearly.
I think that's the difference, though, between these guys. Tyler Warren from the start, and this is why I chose him too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a surprise for me that he won. From the start, he kind of took the reins, on that team as the TE1. And surprisingly, they started actually doing pretty well with Daniel Jones. And then even up until recently, I mean, the last like 4 or 5 weeks of the fantasy season, he wasn't kind of showcasing those big numbers, but still like consistent numbers for a tight end.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. And why did this always happen with tight ends, rookie tight ends that come into the NFL? Honestly,
Dude,
they always, one or two of them always seems to pop off.
we're going to have a surplus of tight ends next season. It's getting to a point where I don't know if I can invest in another rookie tight end in the draft because I just don't know. There's just so many options now. But yeah, Tyler Warren, he had a bit of a late season, like kind of drop off, but that's not his fault. It was because of Daniel Jones.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe if Harold Fannin had like Shedeur Sanders for most of the season, he could have had enough dominance where it kind of like pushed him forward. Because these two were neck and neck. They were like, Tyler Warren made the top 5. I believe, and Harold Fannin was either in the top 5 or just barely out, depending on your league setup. So they were
Mhm.
neck and neck point wise.
Yeah. But yeah, I
It's
think
also
it comes down. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, no. I was just gonna lastly like just bring up like Ashton Genty of
Oh
like,
yeah.
man, I can't believe he made the list when I was looking at because you didn't feel like he had that great of a season,
Well,
but then you look back and it's
exactly.
like, oh, he's like number 13, 14 running back on the year, and none of the other rookie running backs that everybody was so hyped on actually managed to like surpass him in that.
Hmm.
So he became like the ultimate option.
Yeah, and no one would have thought that would have been the case, start of the season. It everyone in everyone's minds, Ashton Genty in that S tier category coming out of college. Um, but yeah, it's literally just consistency. That's kind of how I based a lot of my votes.
Yeah,
Um, and all of these guys outside of Tyler Warren did have they took some time, and rookies take time, to get into their roles. So most of them were actually, yeah, later season breakouts, and Tyler just kept consistent. But we can move on.
yeah. It was a great rookie of the year setup. Not
Mhm.
as great as the year before, but still guys worth mentioning.
Yeah.
And let's move on to our next category here, which is going to be Draft Steal of the Year. The guy that
Yes.
provided you the biggest value for what you paid for in the draft. And the nominees are Drake May, New England Patriots, Travis Etienne, Jacksonville Jaguars, Javonte Williams, Dallas Cowboys, George Pickens, Dallas Cowboys,
Mhm.
and once again, Tyler Warren, Indianapolis Colts. And the
Oof.
simply goes to Drake May.
Oh,
Drake
snap.
May of the New England Patriots. He got most of the votes here
Yep.
today. And this was it wasn't surprising to me because of how
No.
good he's been this season. But
Right.
I could see most of these guys could have ended up with the award.
Yeah.
And some of them we're going to mention more because some of these guys do come up in later categories. But we'll put the focus back on Drake May. I don't know if you managed to get him in any of your drafts, Jake, but he was a guy that ended up in multiple leagues. He was one of those guys that I came in. He was like mid-tier backup. Like you draft him probably like around middle of the pack, like QB
Mhm.
15, 16, and you're just like, just in case, let's see what happens with him. But
Yeah.
man, he surpassed everybody's expectations. He had a phenomenal season. With the last couple of weeks, especially, he ended up being in the top 3 of all the QBs this year.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of insane to think about, just given the where the team was at last year, and really their wide receiving core like is has just been so shaky. So the fact that Drake May could come in here and dominate on a team, right?
Yeah.
That no one really thought would be that great. The whole team is great, really. I mean, the wide receivers are still shaky, but yeah, Drake May is, I want to say, the glue that holds them together. Very consistent and definitely a star this year. He was my choice. I'm pretty sure
He was
he was
my
my choice.
choice too, I
Okay.
believe. I could
Hmm.
have I could have actually chosen Travis Etienne. I think I probably chose Drake May. But I think Travis Etienne has had a really phenomenal season for a
Oh
guy that we
yeah,
all assumed was pretty much out of it.
exactly. I'd say Drake May and Travis Etienne probably the most slept on in this row here of
Yeah.
nominees.
But you
Um,
can make a case
yeah.
for either the Dallas Cowboys too. George Pickens was a bit of a not a slider, but you got him in maybe 6th, 7th round. But Javonte
Mm-mm.
Williams, one of the last, like probably one of, if not the last starting running back taken in a lot of drafts.
Right.
So
Yeah,
he,
the questions were there.
yeah,
Um, really, yeah, all these guys, you know, did really well. I personally had Javante and Tyler in a lot of my drafts just because it like you have to capitalize, right,
yeah,
on guys that could break out. and be number ones on their team when everyone else is going for, the bigger names out there. So I think I'm a fan of sleeper picks. That's why I love all these guys here, but it's a strategy, I think.
It was such an
Yeah.
interesting year for the top end of QBs because usually that's kind of consistent for the last few years, but you feel like
Mm,
the cream of the crop have been usurped by guys that you wouldn't have expected, like Matthew Stafford. Dak Prescott had a return to form this season. Drake May getting back in there. A great unexpected year for
mhm.
QBs. And you'll definitely be seeing more of them throughout these nominees here. But why don't we go to
Definitely.
another Simply Award? Another
Let's do it.
category. This is one of our two sort of team awards. This is not based on a full on player. This is Fantasy Team of the Year. We're going to be looking at a full NFL team and judging everybody that played in
Mm.
fantasy and who was the best overall team. And the nominees are the Cincinnati Bengals, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, the Detroit Lions, and the Los Angeles Rams. And the simply goes to the Los Angeles Rams. With
All
a
right.
pretty dominant set of votes there, and I think everybody could see why.
Yeah, man. Dude, I am hit after hit after hit on this.
Yeah, you're
Did you
getting
vote
you're
vote for
getting
the
them.
Rams as well?
I actually did the Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
I did the Dallas. So we can get into both of them. The LA Rams, obviously, Matthew Stafford, candidate for MVP. Kyron Williams, a top 10 back. Puka Nakua, possibly number
Number
one,
one
number
wide
two,
receiver.
right next to
Yeah.
Jackson Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You have Devontae Adams in there, who would have been probably top 10 as well if he stayed healthy, but he got pretty close.
The LA
Um,
defense,
yeah.
one of the best.
The only thing that was kind of lacking was the tight end. They didn't really have
Mm.
like a set tight end, even though some people were hyping up Colby Parkinson.
Yeah,
But they
towards the
felt
end.
like an obvious choice. But for me, Jake, you cannot let the Dallas Cowboys slide, man. Dak
I think
Prescott,
that's a
Javonte
sleeper pick.
Williams,
Yeah.
George Pickens. I know CeeDee Lamb had a bit of a down year, but CeeDee Lamb's still CeeDee Lamb. Jake Ferguson. Yeah, their defense wasn't, great. It was the
Well,
worst.
no, I agree with you. I think they're a great team, and especially when you have CD and George Pickens lining up on the outside with Dak Prescott, it's almost unbeatable the deep ball threats
Yeah.
that brings. But dude, I've seen a couple games this season where they've just crumbled. And it may have been with players out, but still, in my mind, I just couldn't do it. I feel like they were really close for me. They're really close, but
Yeah.
um, they're just not all there. And their defense, come on, Kyle,
I
you can't
know.
forget
I
about the
know.
defense. The defense is
Honestly,
trash.
I wasn't as focused on defense
All
when
right,
I
well
when I
that's
was
fair.
thinking about. I wasn't thinking as hard on defense. So that's actually a very good point. For the other teams on this list, I know we have like negative connotations about like the Eagles offense or the Lions offense this season because they might have taken a step back. But you have to realize they still have a surplus of talent that still performed within the top 10 of most leagues
Yeah,
in
definitely.
in most if not all the positions. So you still have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, and we don't have this category, but I would say sleeper fantasy team of the year, Bengals, man. I think that's an
Oh,
obvious choice.
dude, well, if we're doing sleeper, we could do Cardinals as well. I can see
Well,
Cardinals in there.
yeah, but they weren't winning games. I mean,
Yeah, they weren't winning games, but hey,
I
that
guess
didn't stop them from
fantasy.
from fantasy. This is a fantasy football award show, Jake. Don't you
True.
forget it.
Yeah. No. There's But anyways, the Bengals, my opinion. Anyways,
Yeah,
well, this is a cool category, I think, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about more of these players
and we got
on these
we got
teams.
more fun ones coming up. We got a lot more. How about our
Mhm.
next category, Waiver wire pickup of the
Woo.
year. I'm so excited for this category
Speaking to my
because I,
soul right now, dude.
dude, oh my gosh, the
All
amount of
about the
videos
waiver
I've been doing
wire
on waiver wire, I was
picks.
I knew this off the top of my head. I didn't even need to think about the nominees, but here they are. The
Let's go.
nominees are Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles
Hey.
Rams; Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars; Jacoby Brissett, Arizona Cardinals; Rico Dowdle, Carolina Panthers; and Michael Wilson, Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
And the simply goes to surprising Michael
Michael
Wilson.
Wilson. Yep.
Michael Wilson.
Come on, let's go.
Maybe surprising is not the right word, but this is in my mind, most of the people in this category is like a chocked full of definite game changers that you got in the waiver wire. Quarterbacks, crazy
Dude.
year for quarterbacks that you got all these guys probably mid-season, late season.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me. But Michael Wilson, I could see the choice here because,
I
man,
mean, wide receiver, bro. I think the thing is with Michael Wilson, right? He was a mid season pop off, mid to late season pop off.
yeah,
With Jacoby Brissett and Marvin Harrison being out. Dude, I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say here. It was something good. But no, Michael Wilson um is different than all of these guys because first of all, he's a wide receiver.
yeah.
And a lot of wide receivers got hurt, this year. So they were really needed. So that's one. Two, dude, he did not have a bad game. Like the
No,
whole after the first week, he popped off. Let's see what week that was.
there was
Pull it
one
up.
game where Marvin Harrison came back healthy and it kind of like
That
took it
was You're
away.
right.
That was like
That
the
was
one
one game.
game. But every game that he played where Marvin Harrison wasn't an issue, he was dominant. He was crazy. He was like, he wasn't even necessarily the go-to guy. That was more Trey
Yeah.
McBride. They kind of like split that, but both of them were amazing during that time.
Yeah, and he had honestly, dude, I don't know if it was entirely Michael Wilson. I mean, props to him for doing what he did, but I'm looking at it now and the targets that he was receiving, the amount of
It was
targets
unbelievable.
for so many of these games.
Like 10 to
Were
15 targets every game.
literally. So when you have that, I mean, it's kind of hard to not be
I could see
top tier.
with the quarterbacks, even with guys like Brissett and Lawrence, you probably had to think about them if you're going to put them in your starting lineup every week. Michael Wilson, you knew you were going to be in your starting lineup.
Yeah.
He was going to be one of your wide receivers, one of your flex spots. He was just so dominant, and it's now reached a discussion point of what are we going to do with him going into next season? What's going to happen there? Is he just going to lose his role and go back to what he was when Marvin
Right.
Harrison comes back, or is he going to develop a new role? It's going to be so interesting. I can't wait to see what happens with
I
it.
know. Me too. Me too.
Shout out to the QBs.
It's
All
crazy.
these guys were genuine game changers down the stretch. I know a
Yeah.
lot of these guys were started in the last couple weeks of the season. Matthew Stafford, I mean MVP. So
Hmm.
you take with that what you will. And quick shout out to Rico Dowdle, who, I mean, definitely he started to fall off
Early
later in the
season
year.
breakout.
But
Yeah.
man, that 3 game stretch was unbeatable. He was a killer. He single
Yeah.
handedly won you games.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's good for his value moving forward, I'm sure. We'll see if he stays on the Panthers. If he does, it should be interesting to see what happens this offseason. But yeah, definitely killed it early on, and down the stretch was a little bit. It was a little bit different just because
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard came back and they started splitting. But yeah, he was great for sure.
All right. But not all categories that we're going to do are going to be positive. Why don't we talk about one, I would like to call the questionable to return award. This
Yeah.
is focusing on players that have dealt with injuries throughout the season, but there's an important distinction here. This is not talking about season enders. This is not like
Right.
a one and done situation of just like, oh, you got an injury and you're out for the year. No, these are players that continually got hurt throughout the
Mhm.
season that would be out for multiple weeks, then come back, then be out again, then come back. And it's an endless cycle, heartbreak for fantasy players. The nominees are Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders; Terry McLaurin, Washington Commanders; Garrett Wilson, New York Jets; Mike Evans, Tampa Bay Buccaneers; Brock Bowers, Las Vegas Raiders. And the simply goes to Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
with an overwhelmingly amount of votes. I think everybody in this category got at least one vote, which tells you who had the players and who didn't on their teams. But
Mhm.
Jaden Daniels, I think we could convincingly say it because, man, he had like what, 4 or 5 injuries the entire year. Every
Yeah.
time he came back, he then got a new injury and was put back on the shelf. It was a terrible, terrible string of luck for him.
Yeah. Awful season for the Commanders too, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just because of that. Because when he was on the field, he wasn't playing that great too. So
I think he had his moments, and you can tell he was playing hurt a lot of the time.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That could
So
have been it.
who knows how this season would have really gone if everybody stayed healthy? Because it wasn't just him. I mean, Terry's on this list too. Terry was out for
Mhm.
a lot of weeks with a lingering
Yeah,
injury,
you're right.
came back, and then went back on IR again.
Yeah,
Similar,
sucks.
similar to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, I had him on a couple leagues, and I was like, man, he's looking like a top 5 wide receiver. He looks amazing. People forget about this. He went on IR, came back, and then within a quarter, got another injury and went back to IR and never
Mm,
played again. He only played
yeah.
about 6 games. By the way, here's an interesting stat for you, Jake. Garrett Wilson finished
Here.
the season with 395 receiving yards, the most receiving yards of any Jets player that season.
No, that's
That's
terrible.
full. That's real. That's a real stat.
Oh, that's why their head coach got fired, bro. Should have been fired mid-season, but
I,
man,
there's something even funnier about Jaden Daniels getting that one freaking arm injury, where it looked like, oh, he just broke his arm, dislocated it, he's gone for the year, and they're like, nope, he's back in a few weeks.
that
I'm like,
was crazy. And then they were like, I saw like clips of them showing how he did a similar thing in college. Like his body just moves weird, and I don't know,
maybe it's
kind of
just like
strange.
Gumby. Maybe he
Maybe
just like move. He can just like pop anything back and just like put a
he
little clay on him, and it goes back to life.
he's a young guy, so
Yeah.
he doesn't have frail bones. Um, yeah, I mean, I think most people would say that it would be Jaden Daniels. A lot of these guys um were did have like one or two injuries. Brock Bowers had a few, right?
Brock Bowers had a couple. It kept him out for a little bit. I think it wasn't as prevalent. It happened earlier in the year, and then he was
Yeah,
pretty healthy throughout the rest of it. Mike Evans, now that's the unfortunate one. He had a
that one
chance to
sucked.
to break the Jerry Rice record, and we can't have anything nice, can we?
Well, he's back now, so
Well, he's back, baby,
we'll see.
just in time for them to not make the playoffs after winning
Yep.
a football game.
Terrible.
Good luck, Panthers. All right, let's move on to a category that I really like. The reason I didn't consider defense as a part of the fantasy team of the year is because we also have defense of the year as one of our categories. This goes to the best defense of the season, and the nominees are the New England Patriots, the Cleveland Browns, the Houston Texans, the Denver Broncos, and the Seattle Seahawks. And the simply goes to,
I can guess this one. Come on.
this was
Easy.
neck and neck, but the
Oh,
winner,
really?
yeah, the
Okay.
winner was the Seattle Seahawks.
Whoa, dang.
Coming in late at the end
Did not expect that.
Got
But I
one
could
vote
see it.
over. It was, yeah, you could see it. It was a two-horse race between the Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Wow.
But
Okay.
overall, and maybe this was recency bias, but it was kind of the last couple games that the Seahawks
Sure.
played that like tilted me over to them a little
Yeah.
bit. Could you call it bias? I mean, look at my wall. Absolutely, it could be bias. But I wasn't the only one. A number of people voted the Seahawks as well.
Yeah, and hey, I'm a Seahawks fan. I did not vote the Seahawks. It was tough, but I
Yeah,
did
and
go for Texans because early on in the season they seemed untouchable.
oh,
Untouchable.
absolutely. Even throughout the whole year, they've pretty much been a very consistent defense
Yeah,
from start
really.
to finish.
Hmm. But I could see the Seahawks just because they've had some pretty big game potential, you know, or big game plays, I guess you could
Yeah.
say. Um, and yeah, so it makes sense. It makes sense. I do love a
They,
good Seattle
I
defense.
mean, all these defenses, these were probably, I'm pretty sure these were the top five defenses all
Oh
around.
yeah,
Maybe Jacksonville was there, but this was a very good list of teams.
sure.
So it could have been any one of
Tough
them.
category. Yeah.
But you want to know a category that I'm really excited for, Jake? We
Not
got
really.
one coming up
Oh,
right
let's hear
now.
it. Okay.
It meme player of the year,
Woo.
the first ever. Who's going to be the first ever meme player of the year? I think this one
Dude.
speaks for itself. This is just a player that has been kind of mocked, might be a bit harsh, but I mean, kind of, yeah. A little bit like maybe laughed at or like we laugh with them. It's just something ridiculous about this player that has drawn people to them.
Yes. Dude, should we say the meme as we go through the players? The meme for each player?
I think we can mention it after it's
All
won.
right, all right, all right.
I think we can do that, but here
For
we
sure.
go. Let's get this up. And the nominees are Bo Nix, Denver Broncos, Shador Sanders, Cleveland Browns,
Let's go.
JJ McCarthy, Minnesota
Yeah.
Vikings, Cam
Yeah.
Scattaboo, New York Giants,
Scat Pack.
Darren
Let's go.
Waller, Miami Dolphins. And the simply goes to winning by one vote,
Whoa.
Cam Scattaboo.
Woo. Let's go.
So let me explain this real quick. This was a two-man race. This was a neck and neck between Cam Scattaboo and JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, obviously, with his 9 persona, with that one picture that goes around of him that's like
Yeah.
that a
There's so
lot
many JJ ones,
that a
dude.
lot of people go with. However, I believe you voted for Cam Scattaboo, right?
I did.
And I voted for Cam Scattaboo. And let's explain the reasoning as to why.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy is
You want?
just one meme. Cam Scattaboo is a walking meme. He can
Yeah, he
make a
is.
meme happen at any point, at any time. There were,
Honestly.
people are already starting to forget. This dude ruled the NFL world for like 2 or 3 weeks before his injury.
Yeah.
He's one of the most entertaining players I've possibly ever seen in the league. This offseason, he's now started doing Twitch, which is somehow perfect for him. He's now creating more viral moments for himself.
Mhm.
He's like doing iShowSpeed-esque
Yeah.
over the top reactions to things. Dude, I think if we had a full season of Cam Scattaboo, there would have been a 10-to-1 ratio of memes that would have just absolutely catapulted him up.
For sure. For sure. I think he's the new Jameis Winston, bro. Like everything, and which I'm kind of surprised Jameis wasn't on this list, but
Dude, that's a good shout. I didn't even think of that.
that's okay.
I mean, yeah. Oh,
He's not the most relevant player though.
he's
Out of
not the
these
most
guys,
relevant
so
right now. I think I kind of forgot about him as we were going through it, but that is a really good man. Yeah, I should have
I'd
added
say
him.
last year could have been Jameis because of all the hype that he was getting, but
Yeah.
died down a little bit.
He hoped
But
the Lord delivered him from pick sixes.
exactly, bro. Can't beat that. But yes, Cam Skadbu, man, so funny. Crayon eating, uh,
The
you know,
crayon eating Caucasian.
Caucasian.
He was at a Christmas party recently where he wore a sweater that says crayons have protein. He's
That's hilarious.
he knows how ridiculous he is, and he goes over the top with it.
Yeah,
Shador, obviously, there's just like one meme, and that's just what we love around here. Darren
yeah.
Waller and Bo Nix, that's just more for us. That's just more. There's not even a specific meme with Bo Nix.
I was trying to figure that one out. Yeah.
There was not a specific meme, but I'm like, I gotta fill this fifth slot.
Hmm.
Well, we've kind of like gone back and forth on Bo Nix throughout the season, so it's more of a nomination for us. Darren Waller, just the fact that he,
He's
came
old.
back at all,
Yeah,
and he's old. Haha, you're
that is.
old.
No, that is funny. I think definitely makes sense between Cam and JJ. There's a lot of JJ ones too, like
Yeah,
him meditating on the field. Remember those?
yeah, dude.
And just like crying. He was crying at certain points.
Look out, man. I think Cam Skadaboo, as long as he continues being relevant in the league, he's going to be a constant nominee in this category for years to come. He's going to be
Yeah,
the favorite.
for sure. For sure.
But now let's move on to a more serious award.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Comeback Player of the Year. Very similar to how the NFL Honors does it, this is awarding a player that is either coming back from a significant injury or just coming back from sucking.
Yup.
Just not being as good the previous
Classic.
year. And it looks like they're going to lose it, but then they come back and they just make it work.
Let's do
And the nominees
it.
are Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles Rams, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers, Travis Etienne, Jacksonville Jaguars, Stephon Diggs, New England Patriots. And the simply goes to Travis Etienne, dominating the voting here.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you voted Travis Etienne as well. It could have been a lot of these guys. I think it was mostly a two-person consideration between Travis Etienne and Christian McCaffrey. But I think the reason that Travis Etienne got so many more votes over Christian is simply the way you would judge a comeback player. We saw Christian McCaffrey as a coming back from injury. Like he had a season before the year previous where he was just injured completely, badly injured, missed most of the year, and then came back and then missed the rest of the season, and then coming back and taking over his number one spot. But I think it's just more impressive because we just didn't expect Travis Etienne to win out. We didn't expect Travis Etienne to come back. I think once they traded Tank Bigsby, there was that realization of, oh, they were serious when they said they were going with Travis Etienne. And he's been such a joy to watch this season, getting back to form.
Yeah, he has. And, you know, Jacksonville made a way for him to come back. And he capitalized on it. I think in a lot of people's minds too, you know, people that have played fantasy in previous years, you look at Travis Etienne last year, right? And you know, end of season last year, it was up in the air for Travis. Like,
Yeah,
is he even going to start? You know, is Tank Bigsby going to start over him? They drafted a rookie running back that came in, and kind of everything just kind of went well for Travis this year. You know, they
yeah,
got rid of Tank Bigsby, and Travis just came on the scene and started producing. So I think when you have that, that's my kind of my mental process through it too. Like looking at him last season and looking at all these guys last season, they were established. You know, they've always been established.
yeah.
Coming into this season, Travis Etienne definitely, um, yep, definitely capitalized on his opportunity. So
Absolutely. Happy to see it. All the other guys on this list as well. I mean, we've seen Matthew Stafford already, Dak Prescott, all makes sense. Coming back from what was a disappointing season last year, and Stephon Diggs also coming back from a major injury. So great to see all these players back. It's going to be
Mhm.
interesting to see if they can keep it up next year, which most of
Yes.
them will. Some of them we'll have
Yeah.
to see.
True.
Here's another category as well. Oh, this is one. I love this one. This is another award-based category. This is the Put the Team on His Back award.
Dang.
Put the Team on His Back award. Basically, if you need an explanation for it, this is playoff-specific fantasy football. These are the guys that perform best in the playoffs when you needed them most, and they answered. They
Oh.
answered your call. This one might have probably the best and closest selection of all the groups, but I think people managed to choose one winner over the rest.
Mm.
And the nominees are Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars, Chase Brown, Cincinnati Bengals, Bijan Robinson, Atlanta Falcons, Chris Olave, New Orleans Saints, Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals. And the Simply goes to Trevor Lawrence of the
nice.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
He had the most votes here, but man, this was the first like 3-person race where people were going back between Trevor Lawrence, Chase Brown, and Bijan Robinson as the main 3. But any one of these 5, all 5 of these guys, pretty much if you played them, had a good chance of winning you your league.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Trevor, I could see it. I think I voted for Bijan in this one.
I voted for Chase Brown.
Okay. I mean,
that might have been a bit more of a homer pick because I had him in so many leagues, and he did actually win me a league or two. So
yeah,
there might have been some more bias there, but Bijan was so dominant in the last few weeks of the year. That final week where he got that 93-yard rushing touchdown against the Rams pretty much sealed it for most people.
And that's the thing with Bijan. It's like, what quarterback on his team was doing anything? Michael Penix didn't do much. Obviously,
Kirk Cousins did
Kirk
less.
Cousins did less. Yeah. So it's like, it was literally Bijan, for the most part. And dang. Yeah,
But I
but Trevor
could see it
Lawrence,
with yeah.
I think Trevor Lawrence makes sense because, not only was he kind of carrying his team, right?
Yeah.
He made a huge step up from how he's previously played in previous years, right? He's kind of coming back into the first round draft pick that they thought he would be when they drafted him out of college.
Yeah.
Killing it on the run game, passing super well. And I think that's just it. He's like proving people wrong in his abilities to do things and carrying his team on top of that. I think that kind of goes the extra mile and shows why he should be selected for this.
This is the best he's looked in his entire career. And
Yeah.
it's not even that close. He's had moments, but man, that run, there was like a 2-game stretch where he got 11 touchdowns in like 2 games. Of course, when you look at something like that, you're gonna be swayed a little bit.
Yeah.
I can imagine this was more of a award of who was it that you had on your team that took you far enough, because everybody did well. Like Trey McBride, I think almost got forgotten in this category, but Trey McBride was unbelievable at the end of the year. He had been unbelievable for like the second half of the season anyways.
Definitely.
And then Chris Olave, they had the Saints had a 3-game win streak. Tyler Shuck looked as good as he did the whole year, and Olave completely dominated, and it shot him up draft boards next season. It shot him up in the rankings. He was just outside the top 5 this year.
Yeah. Chris Olave helped Tyler Shuck kind of establish potentially the starting role for next year.
Oh yeah,
And that's
not
huge.
even a question.
Yeah.
I think all the late game wins definitely took them out of any contention of getting quarterback. And
Mm.
now Tyler Shuck's going into next season, and he's going to be one of the more interesting. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm sitting in my chair. I'm interested. I'm watching.
Yeah, yeah, same here.
All right. Let's
Ugh.
see here. We've only got a number of awards left. I didn't even say what number. Oh, we have so many more. Not too many. We have about 5 awards left. Let's go through them here. The next one is going to be similar in some ways. The most improved player of the year. I think this one speaks for itself. I think there's always should be an award for the NFL honors that's similar to this.
Mm.
Most improved player of the year, because some people lump that in with like comeback player of the year, but it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but where are they coming back from? They didn't they were never good to begin with.
Oh, hey, that makes sense. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
put it like
It's
that.
like when Geno Smith won comeback player of the year. It's like what's he coming back from?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
true.
But the nominees are Drake May, New England Patriots; Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars; Javonte Williams, Dallas Cowboys; George Pickens, Dallas Cowboys; Michael Wilson, Arizona Cardinals.
Mm.
And the simply goes to
Come on.
Drake May,
Ooh,
winning
dang.
out. This is his second award win of the day. He has just
Crazy.
got one for each hand now.
Yeah,
Great for
it's
Drake
wild
May.
too because this is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it was a pretty tight race. Everybody got a vote here. The closest one was actually Michael Wilson, who was
Mm.
pretty close to actually beating Drake May here. I think that's a lot more like recency of. I think the only reason I
Recency
didn't,
bias. Yeah,
yeah, it was more like his situation changed, and I think he got to
sure.
really show off who he was.
Yeah.
But Drake May went from like, you know,
Okay.
yeah, he went from okay to like maybe above average, but you saw the talent there too. Once Mike Vrabel hit, boom.
Yeah.
Coaching, I think took it up to another level.
Oh yeah. Coaching's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think too because this is Drake May's second season in the NFL.
Oh
So
yeah.
we didn't have. I mean, like the sample size to go off of wasn't huge, but like you said, I think it's coaching and um, them pouring more into Drake and you know it's tough for rookies to really have stellar seasons, anyways. But you could definitely say and see that he was a second year breakout, you know, and that's I think that's expected for rookies to have later season breakouts.
Yeah.
Um, so you know, I could see it happening, and I was hoping. I think a lot of people were hoping it would happen with Stephon Diggs and them getting, you know, trying to establish their wide receiving core, even though it's not too great outside of Stephon. It's still kind of all over the place. Yeah, Drake May looks great.
He's
I
great.
actually voted for Javante.
Yeah, I do remember voting for Javante, and I can see it. I think he was just more of a victim of what was around him.
Yeah.
Like I think in most seasons, this was a weird year. A lot of movement, a lot of changes happened. Probably one of the oddest fantasy seasons we've had in a long time. I think in another season, Javante probably has this more or less in the bag,
Mhm. True.
but it just didn't go that way this time. But hey, he's still being recognized. The excellence is still getting nominated.
Oh yeah. Congrats to all these nominees and the winner, of
Congrats.
course.
Got another award here to give out, and this one I like in particular. This is the Jekyll and Hyde Award.
Mm.
And the way I mean by this is sort of two-faced. You have players that are inconsistently consistent, or
Yeah.
or is it flipped around? Consistently inconsistent.
Consistently
It's a bit of an
inconsistent.
oxymoron, but
Inconsistently
it's
consistent.
players that you could see easily getting you top performing weeks one week and then the next week doing absolutely nothing. Players that you cannot rely on or just make you want to pull your hair out because
Oh
they'll
yeah.
either do great or terrible, and no matter what they do, you'll always have them on the bench
Oh yeah.
for when they do good, and you'll start them when they do bad.
Exactly.
All right. And the nominees are Bo Nix, Denver Broncos; Jared Goff, Detroit Lions; Breece Hall, New York Jets; Cortland Sutton, Denver Broncos; DJ Moore, Chicago Bears. And the Simply goes to Bo Nix.
Hey, let's
Bo
go.
Nix wins out this award. It was a pretty convincing win, to be honest. And, I mean, we both felt it this season.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
I think there might technically be some better options out there, ones that I would say are technically a little bit more inconsistent, man, you just could never fully rely on Bo Nix. It always felt like, even when the team wins, it always felt like a hollow victory because you looked at your scoreboard at the end of the day and you're like,
Literally.
how did this happen?
And it's insane. They finished top of their division, you know?
Yeah.
Like insane. But yeah, I was scared to put him in, bro. And we both had him in leagues, right? You couldn't tell me you were confident
Oh
each
no.
week putting him in, right?
It was a
Like
ride, man, and I just had to strap
yeah,
myself in.
exactly. It got to the point where I was looking for waiver wire guys. Like I think I got lucky and picked up Matthew Stafford and I rode with
Yeah.
him, but man, yeah, Bo Nix is tough. And for the games that he did hit, which were honestly few and far and in between, like there weren't a ton. There were a handful of games that he did really well in. And then the rest were just uh poor performances. And then it made me wonder, like, how are they winning these games? You
Yeah.
know, how the heck are they winning these games? But
Dude,
their defense is good.
and sometimes
You know,
fantasy football just doesn't make sense. Like we have on this list the guy that would the beneficiary of Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, who's also on this list that goes back and forth between having a good game and a bad game. But you want to know something interesting about Bo Nix? He ranked
yes.
higher this year than he did last year. He was like wide receiver 13 within like the top 15
Mhm.
last year. I think in most places he was wide receiver 10, 11 this season. Fantasy football. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. But
Wow.
there are
Yeah.
a lot of players this season that got into the top 10 where you look at it's like, man, they really didn't feel like they were in the top 10 this season. But then you realize
Honestly.
all it takes is a few really great games, and sometimes that can just propel players forward if they don't get injured.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Although I do think in this category I voted for DJ Moore. Just because, and maybe that's just because I had him and I saw it firsthand and it was crazy. He would
Yeah.
literally, it was every other week.
No, I'm
He
with that.
he would either get 20 points or no points. It was insane.
That's
It was
wild. He was definitely
actually
my second choice for
he
sure.
was crazy. And I kind of hope with all the receiving options that are starting to blossom within the Chicago Bears of Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, I secretly do hope he gets traded somewhere else to
Yeah.
make it easier for their ascension, but that's just me.
That's just your dynasty league talking, my dude.
That's just my Dynasty League talking, man. All
Yeah.
right. Jake, are you ready? Get ready because energy up. We're in the final three, the
Let's do it.
biggest
I'm
awards
ready.
of the season here. We'll start
Yep.
off with the first of the three, tight end of the year. We want
Let's
to
go.
honor the best tight end of the entire season. We felt it is necessary that we should honor the very best at my personal favorite position. I don't care what anyone else says. The
And
nominee.
before you get into it,
Okay.
where I have a question. Just so you can explain this to the audience. Um, as far as like rankings go Sleeper has rankings,
Yeah.
ESPN, for how well players did during the season, and that ranks them, number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not taken into account. This is purely people's votes, right?
Yeah, this is purely people's votes. This is not just, oh, you were ranked number 1 on the season, you're going to get this award.
Yeah.
But it's purely based off of what people thought. And we're going to get into all that right now because the nominees are Tyler Warren, Indianapolis Colts; Harold Fannin Jr., Cleveland Browns; Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs;
Okay.
Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals;
Yeah.
George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers. And the simply goes to it's Trey McBride.
Yeah.
It is Trey McBride. It is the only one in the list where the vote was unanimous. There was not a single vote that went the other way. And I know we said we weren't going to vote purely based off of who was number 1, but this is an exception here. Trey McBride was far and away the best option. He in one of my leagues I was in, it's very close to standard scoring. It's probably maybe like a couple points off here and there. He was so far ahead of number 2 in terms of points, which I believe was Kyle Pitts. Which, I mean, he mostly just bolstered himself up there because of that one 50-point game that he had.
Yeah.
But Trey McBride had 100 more points than the second best tight end. He was far and away the best option. And it wasn't even close.
Oh. Yeah, and I think the expectation, or not the expectation, but the fact the rankings do kind of play into this because it is accurate in the sense of, how well these guys did and who the number 1 tight end on the season was Trey McBride.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Trey McBride, let's be honest. Yeah, it'd be kind of surprising if it were other people, but I could see, George Kittle had an interesting year.
George Kittle, I think he would have contested him a little bit if he stayed healthy throughout the year because he played tremendous.
And towards the end of the season, he played amazing.
Yeah.
So he's definitely up there. Harold Fantin, if he played the full season, could have been up there with Trey McBride.
I think usually, sorry, I was just going to say, it's usually just a 2 or 3 person race at tight end for like number 1. I think because of injuries and because of the weird season, we never really got that. It just ended up being one clear cut winner. I think it was just Trey McBride didn't get hurt. He did pretty much everything he did last season, plus more, because Jacoby Brissett came in. He got 126 catches. That's the most any tight end's ever gotten in NFL history. Right. He had, last season, he was the number 2 tight end, and he had what? 1 touchdown? 2 touchdowns? He had 11 this year.
Yeah, I mean, he persevered through Kyler Murray. And I don't know if you could say the same. If anyone else on this list could have done that. Trey McBride is just that guy, bro. He's that guy.
He is.
And he's going to be that guy in the future.
If you took him out of this list, it probably would have been a lot closer. You would have probably seen, because you actually look at them point-wise, most tight ends outside of Trey McBride were very close point-wise. So I could see it being more whichever guy you liked more or thought just had a better overall season. But we're going to have to see it in the future if this continues to be a one-sided award or if there starts to become a bit more of a sway as the seasons go on.
Yep.
But now we are entering the big one before the big one. There's only 2 left. Bust of the Year. My favorite award that is kind of a negative award, but all of the negative awards, this is my favorite one. This is going over the players that where you drafted them from and they just let you down the most. And the nominees are Saquon Barkley, Philadelphia Eagles; Isaiah Pacheco, Kansas City Chiefs; Justin Jefferson, Minnesota Vikings. Lad McConkey, Los Angeles Chargers. And Brian Thomas Jr., Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Simply goes to Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep.
dominating the votes, and I think it's obvious.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious within hindsight. I think the only one that could have given him a run for his money was maybe Justin Jefferson. But while Justin Jefferson was mostly because of, the quarterback situation,
Yeah.
he was more situational. It made him fall to wide receiver 25. I can't even remember where Brian Thomas' placement was at the end of the year.
Yeah.
He was a late first, early second round pick in almost most drafts, and he just completely crapped the bed.
Yeah, it's really an interesting, kind of an interesting scenario, or situation that happened to Brian Thomas. And I don't know. See, there's debate on like how the fall off happened, but the fact of the matter is that he just was not who he was last year.
No,
He was not nearly, um, playing the same way uh with that boom potential. He had like a spark about him last year, and he was honestly like similar to Malik Neighbors in a way. They played on the same team in college. He was that kind of electric, and coming into this year, dude, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was mindset shift or something, but Trevor Lawrence did really well.
he was.
Brian Thomas did not.
Yeah, it was it was so odd because he was coming out last year as like, oh, he might have more upside than any of the wide receivers out of that loaded class.
Yeah.
He looked like a version of Jamar Chase that was just waiting to explode. And then he comes into this season. He has problems with consistency. He can't catch the ball very well. He's just completely missing for most of the games. I don't know if it's a problem with him taking like certain coaching well, or because it wasn't Trevor Lawrence's play, at least not in the second half of the season.
Mm.
And there was openings for him to come in. You had Travis Hunter was gone for the year. But who comes in when Trevor Lawrence is playing at his best? But Parker Washington is exceeding expectations.
Mm.
Jacoby Myers is playing up to his potential. Brenton Strange is making plays here and there. Where are you, man?
It's weird when you play a full season. It's not like he got injured, right?
He never had those games where it's like, oh, that's where that guy is.
Yeah. And it's just like the openings. He had openings,
Yeah.
Travis Hunter getting hurt and all these things happening, right? Trevor Lawrence looks electric, like I said previously, and it just wasn't there for Brian Thomas. I hope that they figure it out in the offseason. That's the hope, right?
Yeah.
But it's tough to tell, especially when Travis Hunter comes back, because Travis Hunter was actually looking pretty good when he played towards the tail end of him playing before he got hurt. He was looking pretty good. But yeah, we'll have to see.
It's going to be such an interesting offseason to see what happens with him. He is your bust of the year.
Yes.
And the other guys here, like Saquon or Lad McConkey, they just didn't have as much of a fall off. Like they definitely disappointed, but it wasn't like crazy to a Brian Thomas Jr. extent.
Yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, you could argue, had just as bad of a fall off as Brian Thomas Jr., but the expectations were not nearly as high.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But his fall off was stronger than any other running back that I could find this season.
Yeah, I think BTJ was like the opposite of a
Game
comeback
changer?
player. No, like comeback player of the year. What's the opposite of that?
Come down.
Come down, or whatever the last. What was
The 1 step forward, 10 steps back award?
Yeah, basically. It was just weird. But
Yeah.
we can move. Let's move on to the last category, Kyle.
We've got one last category, the most important one, the one at the end of the season that everybody wants to get. It is here, the Fantasy MVP, Most Valuable Player. And for the last time, the nominees are Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills; Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers; Jackson Smith-Njigba, Seattle Seahawks; Puka Nacua, Los Angeles Rams; Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals.
Dang, heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. It was a two-horse race with one vote separating between the two. Your fantasy MVP of the 2025 season is Jackson Smith-Njigba, Seattle Seahawks wide receiver. An unbelievable win.
It was. Did everyone go for him?
It was between two. He won by one single vote. Christian McCaffrey was the second choice, which full on.
I can see that.
If I had Christian McCaffrey, I might have thought the same. He was the number one running back this season. He was given every chance and opportunity to get touchdowns, every run, so many catches out of the backfield. When everything around the 49ers crumbled, it was just left on him, and it was on his shoulders.
Yeah.
But Jackson Smith-Njigba, and I think I want to compare this to Puka Nacua, because a lot of people are talking right now of like, oh, Jackson Smith-Njigba and Puka Nacua had near identical seasons this year. How come no one's voting for Puka Nacua? It's the same thing with it's the same thing with Offensive Rookie of the Year. Why is nobody giving votes to Puka Nacua and Jack Smith-Njigba is the heavy favorite? I think it's like this. We expected Puka Nacua to be near the top of the wide receivers. I think with Jackson Smith, it was such a surprise, and it was such a consistent domination through most of the season that I think that's what swayed people over. It's like, oh, look, new thing.
Yeah, and here's the deal. If Devontae Adams, wasn't a part of the Rams, well, this could be a different conversation. It could be, like, honestly, Puka may have had a slightly better season, but that's just not the case. They used Puka a ton, but they also used Devontae a lot, and that's the opposite for JSN. He was the sole guy. You could see it every game. Sam Darnold, like, first play out of the backfield, JSN. And then it would be like touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. Every game, I think he scored a touchdown.
Our offense is built around the identity of JSN. If JSN were to go down with an injury at any point, our offense is dead.
Oh, yeah.
It's completely dead. With Christian McCaffrey, with Christian McCaffrey, you could argue it, but there's like some players that could keep it going.
The Seahawks got Rashid Shaheed, right? Because they knew that if Cooper Kupp goes down or JSN, it would be disastrous. So they actually had to get another player. I mean, honestly, I could talk all day about JSN, and I don't even want to talk about the other players because I want to give JSN this light of fantasy MVP. But yeah, stellar season. Cannot wait to see what happens. Maybe Super Bowl run. We're Seahawks fans. That's why we're hyped about this.
I'm never a fan that likes to... I've now become more of just like a lower expectations type of fan. I never want to put that stuff on the team because then I always fear it will come back to bite us somehow. But yeah, unbelievable year. So glad to see JSN in this position. Also, Josh Allen being here is just more of like, yeah, he was the number one quarterback of the season. He's sort of like that typical like Superman type of, even though it didn't quite feel that way this year, there were a few games that felt like he was not as consistent as before, but he still was convincingly higher than guys like Drake May and Matthew Stafford, to a point where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll give it to him.
Give him his piece,
Yeah. But that will cap off what has been a wonderful award show of the Simplies this year, the first edition, and I'm glad to have shared it with all of you.
Yeah. No, this was a really fun show. I'm glad we got to do this and
Yeah.
you know, survey these guys to other people, see what their thoughts were, and put it all together. Great show, Kyle.
Yeah, you can follow us on any of our socials, X, Instagram, all the same stuff, TikTok. And you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And as the lights dim down, as we fade to a close and the curtains start to pull in, I'll leave you with this. In a complex fantasy world, just remember to stay simple. God bless everyone.
God bless. Thank you, guys.